Welcome to Talking with the Experts. This is where we discuss great ideas to take your business to the next level. How do we know these ideas work? Well, it's because we're talking with business owners who are using these ideas. Business owners who have years of experience and expertise. All things business by business owners for business owners. And now, here is your host, Rose Davidson.
Hi, I'm Rose Davidson from Talking with the Experts. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Global Glamping Charities for their valued support. Global Glamping Charities, solving homelessness in all its forms. Reach out to them at globalglamping.org.
Talking with the Experts.
The universe gives us lots of challenges. In episode 469, Ambila Nath discusses with us how we can take control of our choices.
Because that is a huge guidance on whether that feels right or not. Secondly, when you're looking for an expert, if this is my experience, so I'm not putting it out that everybody is going to recommend that, but if the expert really truly wants to help you, they will want to talk to you and see you. They're not just going to send you an invoice going, okay, enroll on my program, here you go. They will want to meet and talk to you so that they themselves can see if you're ready for that journey. So it's not just about you assessing whether you want to work with them, but they're assessing whether they actually want to work with you. And that's really important because it's a two-way relationship. They need to know that, one, you're ready for it, but secondly, you can actually help that person.
Talking with the Experts.
Hello and welcome to Talking with the Experts. I'm your host, Rose Davidson from rosedavidson.com. Talking with the Experts is about all things business by business owners for business owners. You can find it on all good podcasting streaming platforms and on YouTube. And today my guest is Ambila Nath, and we're going to be talking about how to use the universe to get what you want in business. Now, Ambila is known as, she's known for her straight talking spirituality. She is an award-winning certified spiritual business coach and magazine editor, a serial entrepreneur, a spiritual leader, an international speaker, and an avid follower of her passions. Ambila is far from your stereotypical spiritual coach with a corporate background in management consulting. She went from a six-figure job to building a spiritual business, and her clients span over 4 continents, and she knows that the most incredible journey you can take is the one in building a relationship with yourself. Ambila, thank you so much for joining me today. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Rose, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure being here.
So we've just discussed a little bit about you've gone from corporate to starting your own business, but what prompted you to leave corporate?
I think like everybody, it becomes burnout. But I knew from the age of 19 I wanted my own business. I just didn't know what at that time. So I think being in the corporate world taught me a lot of things, but it was the burnout of just becoming a number, because management consultants were traveling everywhere doing the job that they're required to do. So I was living out of a suitcase and, losing touch with friends and family, but just having the family that I worked with. And I just got to a point in my life going, I can't carry this on. That the money is great, the security is great, but I have no life, and I lost the love for it. And so it's an assortment of things that kind of just came together, and I was constantly falling ill and stress, and so I just went, I need to listen to the signals.
But I think that's what happens with burnout. You become unwell, either physically or mentally or both, and so you need to take a step back, and not everyone does that, unfortunately. They just keep pushing forward and not realizing that they're not giving themselves, not giving the best of themselves to their employer, or honestly, they're not honoring themselves. So it is really important to be aware when burnout is striking and have that support network around you who can point that out to you if you're too blind to it yourself.
Yeah, it 100% is. And I think I had started my coaching program to become a certified coach. So I think with that, I was able to recognize what was going on, but I've always been intuitive in, following things through. But it just felt the right time for me to branch out and go, yeah, now's the time to do what I want to do.
Yeah, and it's a fact really that the universe gives us heaps of challenges until we have learnt the lessons that we need to learn to be able to receive with gratitude the things that the universe has planned for us. So how can we use spirituality in our business so that the road is not so difficult to travel?
It's become such a mainstream thing that people are already using so much of the strategies and techniques without even realizing it. A lot of people will recognize some of the stuff like law of attraction. That's the buzzword, and people go, oh, okay, now I understand what she's talking about. I kind of take it one level up and I call it energies. So it's about understanding what I call the energies. You can call it universe or law of attraction. It's understanding the signals that you're receiving in order to move forward with things. But at the same time, there's practical strategies that have to go with it. You can't just have the spiritual and then hope that it's just going to work because you're visualizing it. So you have to take the practical with it. But using it in your business is very much about being clear on your vision and what it is that you want to be creating. Be clear on who your audience is. Who is it that you're wanting to serve? Because that makes it so much easier for things to start happening and abundance to start rolling in. But like with anything, you have to do the inner work because you have to clear the blocks just within your environment, but within yourself as well. You have to keep on constantly working on yourself in order to keep on, I suppose, clearing the pathway so that you can start attracting more things in.
Yeah, it's really important that we do the inner work otherwise because what we have in here projects out. So if we're not feeling so great here, then outwards it's not going to be a party either. So how can people do that inner work? What are some strategies that they could use to do that inner work to reflect outer?
Well, quite a few things. One thing people will know of is journaling. I'm an advocate of journaling. I love journaling because it's a way of tapping into your subconscious. It's a way of really finding what's keeping you blocked. And the great thing about journals is that when you're kind of reviewing, looking back, you can go, I'm still stuck saying and doing the same thing. So it's a really good way of tangibly seeing your journey. Secondly, it's really important for you to monitor what you're thinking. It's not about being positive all the time, but it's kind of looking at the spectrum of, are you focusing more on lack, that all the things you don't have in your life, or are you focusing on the things that you're grateful for having in your life? And by monitoring what you're thinking and then switching to more of the positive, it helps in terms of the manifesting and the energy shift. Esther Hicks from Abraham Hicks says it so well. She said, as human beings, we will always have things that are not working in our lives, our businesses. But if you focus on the one thing that is working, then what the energy does is picks up that positive momentum. And then all of a sudden, all the things that weren't working seemingly find solutions. Mm-hmm. Or feeling of effortlessly. It's not that you're not doing the work. It's just that you're not having the struggle with doing the work. So the solutions come through a lot more quickly. So your mindset or your thought process is very important as well. And thirdly, it's very much about noting the signals. because that's enhancing our intuition. So doing the inner work is acknowledging what your body is saying, what you're, like I did when I had burnout for my corporate job, time to leave. It's really listening to yourself, listening to what your body is saying, but also your intuition, because it's your guidance on, the work that you need to be doing. But lastly, work with an expert, whether that's a counselor, therapist, whether it means getting a massage because you've got, body problems or whatever it may be. Sometimes we're so fortunate, there's so much out there on the internet, but sometimes we can't do it on our own. And it's useful to just get that expert help as well. So I would definitely say when you're on that inner journey and you feel you can't do it yourself, then work with an expert.
Yeah, and that's an important point too, because not everyone knows what's going on or what's going wrong or what's going right, or well, they know what's going right, but they don't know why it's going right when so many things have gone, pear-shaped in the beginning, or most things seem to go pear-shaped. So yeah, getting that professional help is really, really important, because they know how to deal with the things that really need to be dealt with, and they can change the way you think about different things and give you a different perspective.
Because we're trained to know and read people and know the key words or the phrases or the triggers. Before I was a coach, a lot of the stuff I know now, I didn't know. If somebody, I went to therapy, always working with a coach. I went through therapy, counseling and things. A lot of what they were saying and doing at the time was just like, whoa, wow, this is so amazing, because they're trained, so all of the experts that you work with, we're trained in our profession to know how to help you and guide you and to really probe you, so that we're working with you and not against you, because we want to help to heal you. So I would say it's really important to get an expert on board, just to speed things up. Otherwise you could be struggling with it for a long time.
Absolutely. Now, when people are looking for a spiritual coach or someone to help them on their journey to do that inner work, what sort of things should they be looking for in that person? I mean, obviously I know that you have to feel comfortable with them. That's a start, but what other things should they be looking at? Because there are so many people out there that are scammers that we just don't know who's genuine and who isn't.
Firstly, I always say listen to your intuition, because that is a huge guidance on whether that feels right or not. Secondly, when you're looking for an expert, if this is my experience, so I'm not putting it out that everybody is going to recommend that, but if the expert really truly wants to help you, they will want to talk to you and see you. They're not just going to send you an invoice going, okay, enroll on my program, here you go. They will want to meet and talk to you, so that they themselves can see if you're ready for that journey. So it's not just about you assessing whether you want to work with them, but they're assessing whether they actually want to work with you. And that's really important, because it's a two-way relationship. They need to know that, one, you're ready for it, but secondly, you can actually help that person. So, and thirdly, well, there's lots of thirdlies, but look at their reviews, look at what people have been saying about them, go onto their websites, go onto their social media, whatever platforms they may have, do a little bit of a research and interview them. Don't be scared. It's not like you're going for a job interview where you need to feel, oh my God, if she takes me on, that's wonderful. No, it's the other way around. You are in control. So do the job interview and make sure you're getting and understanding what it is that you're going to get from them. But it really is about feeling that you can trust them when you've spoken to them, whether that's interacting via emails or whether that's hopefully over a call of some sort, that you feel that you can trust them. And ultimately, if you feel you're not ready for them, then tell them you're not ready for them. And again, if that expert is a good one and authentic, then they will go, that's fine. You know where I am. The ones who are pushing to get that money are the ones that even I would be doubting. Because as much as you want to work with an expert and you want to make sure they can authentically help you.
Yeah, I've had actually medical professionals who have I've not continued with because, it was all about the money. It wasn't about trying to help me. It was like, oh, you're behind in your bill. Well, excuse me, but, I just had this other major thing come up and, oh, no, but I need my money now. And I thought, well, I'm not coming back to you because why? I don't feel comfortable now because you're just after my money. You don't want to help me. And that's
exactly
how I felt.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be that way, because you are working with somebody who's providing you a service. That service may be, to help to heal you, but it's still a service. And if you can't, I'm a strong believer that when I find the people I want to work with, the abundance flows. So I don't need to be blocking it by constantly going, no, you have to work with me because I've got bills to pay, because then that's coming from an energy that's not going to be serving you or them. So it's really important when you're seeking an expert that you feel comfortable, that you feel you want to work with them, and that you feel you trust them. If those things don't match, then I would say find somebody else, because there's a lot of us out there. But make sure you're looking for somebody who's properly qualified. So ask them, regarding their certification, years of experience, clients they've worked with. Do the job interview. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, it's
because
important.
Quite rightly, there are a lot of people out there who are giving advice who maybe shouldn't be.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. It doesn't matter what field it's in. There are a lot of shonky people. I'll just use that word. Shysters.
Every industry has them. So
yes, yeah. Absolutely. Ambila, you have an offering that you're giving to our audience today.
I do.
Manifesting Made Easy. Could you please explain what's in that and how people can get their hands on it?
Because I am a spiritual coach and I talk a lot about manifesting and working with energies and stuff, I've got a free guide for people to understand why it's not working for them. Because everybody wants to know how it's going to work, what they need to do to make it work. And I thought it's actually good to have a guide to know why it's not working, because then you can flip it and go, oh, okay, now I know what I need to do to make it work. So this guide is a free downloadable, and it gives you all of the reasons why stuff isn't working, but then the push forward of what you need to do to tweak it.
Yeah, I've always been told that don't look at the hows, don't look at the hows or the how-tos, because then it won't happen because you're thinking too much in your head. Just be grateful. Just be grateful that they show up. It doesn't matter if how big or small that the thing is. And so, yeah, but it's hard for logical people who, need to know why things happen and, how to get that thing. Well, it doesn't matter what it is.
It's like we say in coaching, that once you know what you don't want, then you get clearer on what you do want. So it's the same with this. Once you know why things aren't happening, then you're able to get clearer on how you can make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's great advice. Other than the ebook that you're offering, Ambila, where can people find you if they want to work with you?
Quickest way is on Instagram. My Instagram handle is Ambila_Nath, or just Google my name, Ambila Nath, spell it correctly, and then I come up. But my website and Instagram are the two quickest places for me, because I'm the most interactive in those areas. But of course, Facebook and LinkedIn is also available.
Perfect. And, we could talk about this forever, because, everything has a vibration. Money has vibration, money has energy, money has your coffee cup, your coffee, your tea, whatever. There's all a vibration and energy about it. And we could talk about that for hours and hours and hours. But if you were to give someone some advice or some words of wisdom, what might they be?
I would basically say to people that intuition isn't a woo-woo thing. It's what people will recognize as their gut feeling, as getting butterflies, and we're not talking about love, excuse me, butterflies in their stomach, just that feeling of knowing something is right. That is your intuition and energy. Begin to just open yourself up a little bit more and recognize the signals that you are being sent, because that will serve you really well, and especially in business and advancing in your business, to know the right decisions to make.
Yeah, it's important to follow your gut feelings. Most times sometimes it can steer you off course, but most often it will lead you in the right direction. And so yeah, it's really important to pay close attention to the yeses and the nos that your body's telling you. So I guess why, whilst we're talking about energy and manifesting and all those sorts of things, and people can use it whether in their personal life and in their business, because I usually follow my gut instinct, and I just usually don't. I work out the details later. I just go and do whatever it is and then work it out later.
Exactly. It's the thing with being in flow, because that's something that you touched on, which is regarding the steering. Your intuition, it may sometimes seem that you're being steered in the wrong way, because we like to control, we like to know our path. And if it's been diverted that we don't know about the diversion, then we get the alarm bells. But if we allow ourselves to go through that diversion, we actually find that where we're going is far better than where we thought we needed to be. So it's kind of like aiming for the shed, and the universe has diverted you, going, no, I'm going to give you that villa on the hill. And you're like, oh, I didn't know that. Wow, this is so much better than I thought. So sometimes it's allowing that process to unfold and happen as well.
Yeah, I think so. And a lot of times it's better not to be impatient. Sometimes, you just have to go with the flow and just hope that, you're going to be led in the right direction, and everything will turn out. I mean, I'm an optimist, eternal optimist. I always think, something starts off badly. I always think that there's always a good ending to everything. So it doesn't matter what it is. Yeah. So I love that.
Definitely. Yeah. Positive in everything. Gratitude, being grateful for everything that you have.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's not like, a friend of mine, she thanks her money. Every time she goes to the shop, she says, thank you, money. Or, when she puts money in her wallet, she says, thank you, money.
Yeah. I use there's a Japanese wealth coach. His name is Ken. I forget his surname. I will get that. But basically, he uses the term arigato money. So, which is the same as thanking money. So thanking it because you're keeping it in flow, you're keeping that energy in flow. And it's knowing that when you need to pay out, you're not, paying out with a pinch of, oh my God, where is the next dollar, pound, going to be coming from? But you're doing it from, actually, this is going to serve somebody who needs it more than I do now. Mm-hmm. And then, and then that energy is in the giving, receiving, which is what energy in universe is all about, the giving and the receiving.
That's absolutely right. And it's like when you're on a sales call, you're actually on a service call. We shouldn't really call them, we should ban that terminology, sales call. It's really a service call, because really when you are working with your client, you're serving them. And so maybe we should take that terminology. We should start a petition and take sales call out of the vocabulary and call it a service call.
Yeah, but we can. Somebody started it with a sales call, so now we can. It's just getting the mainstream and everybody else to use it too.
That's a great idea.
Yeah. But no,
All right, Ambila, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your knowledge about, flow and energy and manifesting and, why we need to use the universe in all of its ways and to listen to our intuition. It's really important and it's so helpful.
Rose, thank you so much for having me.
Bye-bye for now.
You've been listening to Talking with the Experts, hosted by Rose Davidson. Make sure you have a look at our back catalogue over at talkingwiththeexperts.com and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any episode. We look forward to your company next time. Talking with the Experts.